Every mountain chain in the world, including Everest, has sea life on top of that mountain. The mountains rose out of the water, so we know that there was a worldwide flood.
Hello, good morning to you all. I welcome you again in today's episode. So today, we're going to be looking at something very significant, very important in our lives as human beings, irrespective of your belief and your culture. And this is an argument that has lasted for a very long period of time. The disagreement between science and Christian faith, or between science and religion. It has been a very long struggle for this while, starting from 17th century, when some scientists started coming up with different theories, with different beliefs, with different idea against the existence and divinity of God. So among all these theories, among all these theories and laws that came up in 17, 18, and even up to 19th century, prominent among them is Charles Darwin theory that some of us studied in the secondary school. The theory of evolution, the theory that tried to explain that human life or human being actually existed by nature through what they call evolution from, long period of evolution from the animal kingdom, especially ape. We now evolve into the current state of human being we have today. So I wonder those generations how so many people accepted this theory because it was proposed by a very respected scientist as then Charles Darwin. So some of his disciples had no option than to accept the theory the way it was. So, but the current scientific revelation have come up to debunk and to destroy this theory, and now we are facing the reality of life. And the recent revelation, recent findings in science is now pointing us back to God. And it's very, very interesting that we follow to see what is happening in the science history. I just want to take us back in history. Some of the things these guys did back then, especially this guy Frederick in 1844 tried to debunk the existence of God. In fact, in his book, he vividly wrote that God is dead. But now, the modern scientific armies, strong scientists, they now have a different view. So I want us to listen to this prof. This man completely destroyed Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, stressing that it doesn't make sense. There is no scientific proof. Listen to this. Science is built on empirical evidence. It's built on observations, and it's built on practical experiments and analysis, which you now come up with a knowledge or with an idea that is acceptable to all. Well, how then will a man just come up with a theory that the then scientists could not really sit down to analyze this, at least allow it to be tested over time? It was now accepted globally, and that's really led so many people in the society astray from believing in God. But now we have something to offer our generation, something much more interesting.
And we compare them with the four postulates of evolution. Only the postulates of creation have been observed. Evolution is based on four major ideas. None of them have ever been observed. Number one, that life comes from non-life. We have not one single example of life coming from non-life. Number two, that all the life forms that we have today came from single-cell life forms. Many people do not know that while we do have single-cell life forms that we call bacteria, we have no two-celled life forms. We don't have three-cell life forms. We don't have four-cell life forms. We don't even have five-cell life forms. That is, we go from single-cell bacteria to complex life forms. So there's no evidence that all life comes from single-cell life forms. The third postulate of evolution is that time and chance drive evolution forward, of course, and time works against evolution. The chance of one simple 100-unit protein coming together by accident this is a very big number. Time and chance make evolution absolutely impossible. The fourth postulate that evolution is based on is that what we see today, minor genetic variation in species, is evidence of macroevolution. So because cats are different colors, dogs are different sizes, that means that fish turned into cows. And of course, we know that that's not true because Mendel proved that all the genes that exist today, you can shuffle them around, but there are no new genes that were created. Let's think about the four major postulates of creation. Number one, where there's a design, there must be a designer. We see codes in DNA. Codes are evidence of intelligence because you have to translate from one language to another. We have not a single example of that happening by accident. Number two, that the earth The solar system, the universe, and the galaxy are young, measured in thousands of years, not millions or billions of years. Many times people ask me, they say, well, Major, you believe in a young Earth, a 6,000-year Earth. Can you show me that that's true without using the Bible? And I say, absolutely. What's the oldest living thing on the planet? The oldest living thing on the planet? Trees. How old are the oldest trees? 4,500 years. That takes us back almost exactly to the year of the flood, okay, in 2500 BC.
Remarkable.
Number two, I'm saying, look at the sky. We call solar nebulae. A solar nebula is what we see from a supernova when a star explodes. It leaves a gas cloud. Because of our radio telescopes that we have now today, we can look deep into space and we can actually count the number of solar nebulae that are there. And how many are there? A supernova takes place about once every 26 years. How many solar nebulae do we have? 6,000 years worth. That's impossible in a universe that is billions and billions of years old. And we have other evidences, such as alpha decay, that we do in our program that most people don't understand, that also shows that the Earth is 6,000 years old. So that's the second postulate that proves that the biblical story of creation is true. Life that we see today are the basic kinds of animals and plant life that were originally created. So we can test that. You can breed dogs, you can breed cats, but you can't breed cats with dogs. So there are limits to how far we can go.
We cannot bring complete explanation to the personality of God. So that's number one point I want us to understand. So if everything about God can be completely explained through any means, be it scientific means, be it any other means, if everything about God and its entirety, everything about Him, that someone can come and bring complete and full explanation about God, that means it's no longer God then. So that is why God have hidden so many things about Him. It becomes mystery. So that what makes it God. So science, they are struggling to be above God in knowledge. So failure to know everything about God, in my own opinion, I think, created a kind of jealousy, a kind of discomfort among the founders of science, or among the old scientists. So this jealousy led them to conclude on the fact that this particular being that we know nothing about, or we don't know everything about him, does not exist.
And lastly, that is, Earth experienced a worldwide flood in approximately 2500 BC, 1656 years after the world was created. The world is filled with limestone. Limestone is sedimentary rock. It precipitates out of water. The entire Earth was filled with water. Every mountain chain in the world, including Everest, has sea life on top of that mountain. The mountains rose out of the water, so we know that there was a worldwide flood.